Happy New Year, Panther fans. Ryan's not there. Welcome back.
Where was I?
I'm David Brown. Actually, Tim wasn't there. Ryan was there.
Oh.
Happy New Year, Panther fans. I'm David Brown, here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. And
All right.
I've been drinking since about 3:30. So
Nice. Good job.
the automatic fade in went to the scene where it was just you and me, Ryan, from last week. This is the first time we've had all three of us since the holidays and everything, right?
That's true.
Yeah, I think I missed one because I forgot and got high.
Oh. And then the show just discontinued itself.
He's like, this is the first time we've all been together. Bye.
Oh, maybe it's a joke. Maybe he's like, all right, now it's my turn to go away.
Yeah.
No, not really. Yeah, but you missed one. I missed one. I was in New Orleans, that shithole.
Well, and you were going through some stuff, huh?
You
were
know,
in New Orleans when the thing happened.
I hit the wrong button.
When the thing happened.
I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
We thought you were joking with us. Then I was like,
no, I was trying to close out a little sidebar window and
close the browser.
You're like, we're finally all together. Click. Bye.
Hey, guys, take it from here.
We were talking about him being in New Orleans.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're alive. That would have. I mean, just the effort of finding somebody else to come on here would have really been a pain in the butt. So glad you survived all that for my sake, personally.
Yeah. That was creepy. I mean, being that close to it, I guess when you look at terrorism and stuff like that, it's never here. It's never where you're at until you're literally walking in and out of that Walgreens a couple hours earlier. So
I've walked in. I mean, you were just there, but I've been to that Walgreens. I recognized it as soon as the pictures came up and everything. Yeah.
Luckily, it was ransacked. There wasn't much left in it, so there's nothing good to take back to the room. No booze, no nothing. No snacks. I don't know if it was like
ransacked.
Yeah, like hours before that, like there's just nothing left. Nothing. Like
just so many people were in the area.
I guess just buying up all the snacks for after they get high, and then buying all the snacks after they get drunk, and then buying all the beer and the wine, and like even the wine shelves at the Walgreens were just bare. Not that I
nothing better than Walgreens wine,
Oh, come on.
How was it for the next few days? Because you stayed through the game, because I bet there wasn't a lot of supplies because a bunch of people probably stayed.
Stayed. Yeah, I mean it was weird being there. I mean, obviously outside of that area, it was back to normal-ish, I guess. A little, lower key. They did reopen the French Quarter the day of the game. So it
was like 4 hours or like 2 hours before kickoff or something. It was not a lot of time, right?
No, it wasn't. So after the game, we all went and got food on Bourbon Street, like Redfish Grill or something like that. They all wanted to go there for oysters. I don't know. And we walked right through that scene. It was just kind of weird to walk through it just because I just walked through it multiple times before that happened, before New Year's Eve, and walking through it after that happened. I don't know, it just felt weird. And we're all in Redfish Grill, which is actually not too far from that entrance. And we would see flashing lights. We all look back and look at the window, what's happening, right? Because everyone's just a little freaked out down there. But we made the best of it. We went to food restaurants outside of the quarter and got to go watch some jazz on Frenchman Street. That was good. So made the best of a trip, and then Georgia sucked, and that stadium sucks still.
Really, I don't understand how that stadium still gets. I know it's the party scene that is New Orleans, but that stadium keeps on getting events. If that stadium was anywhere else, the NFL, national things would not go there. It is a dump. It's absolutely a dump.
It's a painted dump now.
Well, and college football has a lot of it's sort of weird because even the massive programs don't have these big beautiful stadiums like professionals do. I mean, they have big nice stadiums, but they're not like the professional teams, even though they really have a lot of the same money. And so it's just sort of weird because tradition sort of goes into it, and I think just the tradition of New Orleans and the Sugar Bowl there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure
It's like
will.
it's just sort of a thing. Like, it would never go away. I bet they would be upset if it wasn't in that dome. You
But
know.
any other location, Atlanta, we moved from the Georgia Dome into Mercedes-Benz, and you have like, Fiesta Bowls and like that. Well, I guess it's kind of old now, but they did the whole big, huge Cardinal Stadium or University of Phoenix Stadium, whatever that thing's called. Like they keep, I guess Rose Bowl is the other one that's like big and
It's
storied
old.
and been
Yeah.
there forever. But like in these National Football League towns that host these types of events, you replace these stadiums every 20, 25 years, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely
It is.
ridiculous. It's
It
it's it's
is.
absurd. They should not be doing that. But nope, New Orleans just keeps rolling with the that pooper dome, and it's just whatever. Anyhow, glad you're
And
alive.
yeah, they didn't fix the stairs either. I thought, with all the money they threw into it, they could fix the upper deck stairs and not make it a mountain climb. But
Yeah, they definitely built those stairs with somebody that does not know how to use a ruler. This step will be 3 inches, and this step will be 16 inches, and we'll just keep on alternating those every 5 to 6 steps. We have no
And
idea
if
what
you
we're
trip,
doing.
you die.
well, pretty much, yeah. I mean, like, it's bad for people that are, consuming adult beverages because A, the trip down to go to the restroom takes forever. B, you might die on your way down and fall all the way down the stairs. And then C, to come back, you're out of breath when you get to the top row, which is ironically where we were sitting.
Yeah,
Except our row didn't exist because either they can't count New Orleans or
very possible.
22 comes before 24, but there's no 23.
They're so dumb.
So, like, if it was full, I was curious. Like, it wasn't full 100%. I think a lot of people were scared off. We know
Mhm, yeah, that makes sense.
we
They
we
reschedule
talked
it. Of course, it's gonna
res-
be. Yeah.
rescheduled it, so people had to leave, had to work, and all that. But we know a bunch of people that were like, "Oh, I don't want to be around here. I got to get out of here. It's scary." But I don't know. You got to kind of take the scene and understand. Like,
Well, then
it
also,
was
if it was me, if I'd gone to that, like you guys drove down, so your flexibility was way different than what people
flights,
that would have
yeah.
flown in there. Like I would have, if I would have flown into that game, somebody flew in there, they probably had a flight first thing out the next day.
They
And now
did,
you're like, all
yeah.
right, then airlines suck. So you try to explain to them what's going on. Like, oh yeah, well, we'll be so happy to, change your flight for a $500 rebooking fee.
It was
Right.
a mad
So
dash to get hotel changes and all that done, and, like,
Mhm.
all the hotels got wind, and then all the prices started, like, jacking way up just because
I don't
that's
know if
what
this
they're
is
gonna
true or
do.
not, but I've been told that there's some kind of law. Maybe this was a Florida law because this is where I heard this thing. I don't know if it applies everywhere, but once you're in a hotel, you can just keep staying the night and they can't kick you out. You can't. Again, this was in Florida, so I'm not sure if that applies everywhere or not. But I went down for a work trip and got a hotel in Fort Lauderdale during spring break weekend, and they're like, "Well, we can't give you a room for the entire weekend, but we have a room tonight. And if you keep on telling us that you're staying another night, we have to extend you another 24 hours." So I don't
Wow,
know how
I've
that works or
never
not.
heard of that. That sounds pretty interesting, though.
And so we did that. So we were there for 3 or 4 days, and we just every day, right there before checkout time, we're like, "Hey, we need to extend our trip for another 24 hours." Like, okay, cool.
Huh. Never heard of
Anyhow,
that. Things you find out
anywho,
about Florida.
yeah. And by the way, when you are in your early 20s and you get sent to a work trip during Fort Lauderdale spring break, not the worst work trip you could possibly have.
Just
So,
extend through the weekend, stay till the next week,
exactly.
You say Fort
Exactly.
Lauderdale?
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
Yeah, I went down there for work, and I actually got kicked out of my client's office around 1 p.m. because I had spent the whole morning every 20 minutes or so puking, like just being hungover as shit.
Yes.
And yeah, the VP of the company called me into his office and said, "You need to just go sleep it off." And I'm like, "I'm good, man." And he was like, "You need to go." I'm like, "All
Hold
right."
on,
No.
one more vomit
I
session.
had
I'll be
I had a
good.
good time. I had a good time. I had an embarrassing time, but a good time.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know if I
awesome.
would feel the same about it going back in my 40s now, but in my early 20s, with the work paying for everything and being down there at that time of year, it was fun.
I
All
bet.
right,
So what about the
we have
Panthers? Yeah,
we
what
have some
happened?
good Georgia State news. We actually
Won a
we not only
game.
we not only won a game, we beat the snot out of what has been a rival
Bobby
ever since
sucks.
Coach Hunter joined the program.
Mhm.
Maintain that rivalry. That was a fun game. I was talking to Jerry, our buddy Jerry from Rage and Review down in Lafayette. He started texting me that morning, and he was like, "So what should I expect out of this game?" And I'm like,
A win.
"Cajuns win by a bazillion." I just had no faith at all in this team, and
expect 100 to 50.
exactly. And so somewhere during the middle of the second half, he's like, "A bazillion, you said." I'm like, "Well,
Yes, a bazillion.
sorry, Jerry. I wasn't trying to." I think I actually wrote back like that was not me talking crap. I had no faith in this team to do anything well, but I guess at the time I wasn't even thinking about the fact that it is a team that's got an interim head coach. But they beat Appy State with Marlin, and then they beat who did they beat? They beat beat somebody else.
It doesn't seem to matter anyway. I mean, we played
Arkansas
bad
State?
teams close.
South Alabama?
Yeah, we suck, man. We just suck. Did Hayes
Yeah.
save his job by beating Ulala?
No.
What I've
His
liked
job
about
in danger.
what I enjoy about being a fan of a team that perennially like just lets you down and makes you not feel good about yourself as a person or anything is you kind of go into these games and you're like, whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to watch this shit show, and whatever happens, happens. And I have no expectations. So we got the ball, and for whatever reason, I'm sitting next to Ryan's girlfriend. Ryan's over there talking to everybody else and everything. And I'm sitting there, and we get the ball for the tip off, and we make a great like little passing play up in the air, dunk the ball and everything. We our 2-point lead, and I'm talking to Ryan's girlfriend. We're like, man, this is awesome. And we started like referring to like this is the best play we've seen all season long. They obviously practiced this play. It was drawn up. They executed it perfectly. And so, we have the shot from down in Jacksonville with Ron Hunter or RJ Hunter. So we started calling this the basket. And like, of course, the game kind of went a little sideways at first. And we're like, oh man, but the basket. We made that the basket the entire time. Sure enough, the end of the game, they went through and they showed the play of the game.
What's
It was
that?
the basket. It was
The very first play. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was fun.
There was nothing else to show, right?
I mean, we beat them by 24 points, but the very best play of the game was that first thing. Like they must have just drawn up exactly how they're going to do the tip off, how they're going to recover, what they're going to do, and what they're going to, and they did it perfectly. And then from then a point after that, it was just like let's see what sticks to the walls and see what we can do. And they played pretty well against a bad team, right?
They are a bad team, but a win is a win.
Oh, I'll take it.
After was it 7-game losing streak, you got to take it. I mean, anything positive momentum. The lineup changed. Nutter's missing now. We don't know where Nutter is. Yeah, have they said anything about where he's at? I mean, like coach won't even comment.
I haven't seen anything. Yeah, there was the only thing I saw was a no update, but he was not on the bench. He was nowhere to be seen. But, sometimes, addition by subtraction. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully he gets whatever's going on for him and getting back out there and contribute to the team. But
he was, the last bunch of games, he's been really dragging that free throw percent down a lot.
Oh man, what was it?
We were watching all of them, like every single one. I don't know.
What was the game before this? Who we had? South Alabama, where we had like a 43% free point percentage, and they had 100%. They did not miss a free throw the entire game. And
what sucks about Nutter is he's pretty good about drawing fouls. He goes to the 3-point line a lot.
Yeah, so
doesn't make them
whatever. So yeah, Bob Marlin's wife was talking trash about us, not us, but Georgia State.
So sweet of her to watch us.
Was it like the black people on the team?
No, she just made a comment about the attendance. Like the easiest joke you can make about Georgia State is like make fun of attendance. Like, wow, did you think of that one all by yourself?
Well, we were playing Ulala. Why would anybody show up for that?
That was my response to her. I was like, the only thing about Lafayette that turns anybody on here is shouting "You suck" at your husband.
Yeah,
we missed that guy.
Yeah, we enjoy not liking you.
I need to go back and check. Tim, you were supposed to remind me to go check and see if I've been blocked by her.
I have it saved as a screenshot with a reminder.
Yeah. Twitter, you can just go there and it'll tell you you're blocked.
I know it is, but
you can still see all her stuff too.
I was drinking excessively when Tim and I were talking about this, and I just needed him to remind me that I said it in the first place, and I didn't remember it until just now.
Like my bad. I didn't realize we weren't being rational.
No,
I had bad expectations. It's totally on me.
Yeah, she basically said there was like 200 people at the arena, and it wasn't that bad of an attendance, really, for being a 7:00 on a Saturday. What a weird tip-off time.
A weird time.
Mm-hmm. We were the only night game in the conference. I think that's true.
We're not
Sorry,
allowed to have
And we said it. It was not a TV game. It was ESPN Plus. We set the time for the game. The women were playing away. Actually playing Lafayette down there. So that's not an excuse that the arena wasn't available. So no idea. Unless they had to warm up the 6 feet under food for hospitality that was left over from the 2-3 days earlier, because it was the exact same food.
Wait,
Exact same thing.
hold on.
they do make the same food, so
Because we had 6 feet under the game that I was there at, which is 3
Yeah.
games ago.
I'm thinking they just at 6 feet under just sent over a bunch of stuff and they're just
Huge
like
catering
freezing it
order.
and nuking it every game.
well, I did get confirmation from Eli that the Panther Dining is just closed, so they just outsourced it.
Man,
Like,
can
it's everyone else's benefit. And the feedback I got from it is those burgers would be pretty good a few hours earlier.
Yeah, but they're not bad. The
Unless
chicken
they
needs to
sit
be
out
like
for a little
marinated or
while,
something like
it's
that. I had the
Yeah.
chicken sandwiches. They need to be marinated or something. They didn't really do. It's a seafood restaurant. They don't know what to do with chicken. So
And when
better-
you're catering, when you're setting out sandwiches, don't sauce them. Just provide sauce for people to put on them if they want it. I don't want
sauce
mustard.
options.
I don't want
right?
mustard, and there's mustard on the burger, so I just didn't eat any.
I
So
hear
hear
what
me
you're
out.
saying. I
Can
hear
we
what you're saying,
cancel
Ryan,
Panther
but you were
Dining?
completely wrong about mustard. Mustard's fantastic, and they just need to drown everything in mustard. Like,
Well, you know
have like
what? I was sparing your feelings, and I'm not gonna do it anymore. They should have not put the pickles on it either, because pickles are freaking
pickles and
disgusting.
mustard.
All right, I know. Pickles define a burger.
All right, if we ever have a bet with each other where we have to do like some absurd kind of like challenge or whatever after like people were doing these fantasy football challenges for coming in last place. If I ever have to do a challenge with you, it's going to be you have to eat a sack full of crystals because that's just mustard and pickle.
and
Yeah, I'm not
onion.
doing that.
Yeah, that's gonna be if we ever have a bet. That's going to be if you lose, that's what you got to do.
No, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. I won't take that bet.
Never
I don't
accept
care what
that
it
bet.
is. I don't care what it is.
So I know we're complaining about 6 feet under, but do you really want Panther Dining back?
No, I
I
think it's
don't-
cool to do that. And I thought it's a good idea, right? And then you go to 6 Feet Under, where the owner's an alum and supportive of the program. I don't. Is he even sponsor the pro? Do they sponsor the program at all anymore? I haven't really seen a lot, but
I think
They have
there's
an ad in this in the arena, I think. I don't know if they sponsor the
Mm.
team specifically, but I know they have in the arena they have an ad that comes up.
I think
Yeah.
they dropped the
Yeah.
$2,500 a year or whatever to be just a sponsor of the program.
still,
But
it's cool.
Yeah,
They've
I
been
was-
supportive for years and years. I love 6 Feet Under.
I always get tricked by Panther Dining when they do like the vegetarian wing, and you think it's a wing, and then it's just a bunch of like tofu-y, gushy stuff.
What? At least just do fried cauliflower. It's that I don't like the cauliflower vegetarian version of things, but
Yeah.
the cauliflower wings, just call it deep fried cauliflower. Just call it buffalo cauliflower, and
Buffalo cauliflower,
it's
yeah.
super good. It's super
I'd be
good.
all
I
over
love
that.
it.
Eh.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, but whatever. And don't call it wing. It's cauliflower.
It is cauliflower.
Speaking of late tip-off times, we have a game tomorrow or today as this podcast released on Wednesday morning against Trash Down South. 8:30 tip-off on a Wednesday night.
Ooh, late. That's okay.
They're
Women
begging for us
first,
to
right?
tailgate. They want us to tailgate a lot of hours, right?
We want
Are
you
we
to
gonna
come
get
see the
belligerent?
women's team. No?
Well, the women do have a 5:30 or 5 o'clock game or something like that. They're doing a double header, which I don't know if everybody's doing that or not. But it's
We used to do that a lot, right? I mean, we used to have the double headers, and then we got rid of them, and now it's back for just this game.
yeah, that was a season there was a season or two where the Sun Belt just scheduled men and women travel together with the travel
Yeah.
partners, and mixed results. I think that a lot of people that are just not going to go to back-to-back games. I mean, not a lot of people go to like. Let's be fair. Not a lot of people go to the women's basketball games, and those that would go are not going to go to both in one day.
Yeah, well,
I've never been to a women's basketball game.
I've been to a few. I mean, I'd probably go to the tail end of the women's game. But are they gonna? I mean, with the time separation, it sounds like they're gonna clear out the arena.
I would assume so.
Yeah, because like in sports arena days, I mean,
They have to reheat all the 6 feet under food for the hospitality suite.
Do they do a hospitality suite for the women's game?
only
I-
pickles and mustard. That's
That's
it.
it.
Extra
Just the
pickles,
big old
extra
pile of
mustard
it.
for Ryan. Yeah.
Gross.
So Yeah, playing Trash Down South. They have the same record as us. They're 1-2 in conference.
So they're
They're
crappy.
Yeah, they lost to South Alabama like we did. They lost to, I think it was Arkansas State. The only win they have is against Monroe, who is the worst team in the conference.
Okay.
So, I'm saying there's a chance.
Hey, look, our new look offense with our new lineup, shaking things up. No Nutter. Who knows? You never know.
No nutter
No
January.
nutting. No nutting
Nutter
available.
January.
No, not November.
So one of my conspiracy theories about the start time in the women's game is beforehand, so that's probably the answer. But one of my conspiracy theories for this late tip off for a work night game was they just wanted to keep the Trash Down South fans from making that trip down into dangerous, scary downtown Atlanta
Nah.
on a Wednesday night.
They just put the women's and men's together, and they got to spread them out. I get it. I mean, they could probably move it to 8, and it'd be fine. Like 30 minutes isn't gonna make a difference, but
I guess they did not. They wanted to give the women the credit of being like, well, we put it. I think it's 5:30, and that way you can say you made a legitimate effort to have the start time be after the workday, so that people that worked, their full 9 to 5 could actually make it out to the game instead of putting it at like at 3 or 4 o'clock and just legitimately saying, we don't care about women's sports. We want get the men's game in at a decent hour or something like that. But it is very odd. An 8:30 tip off on a Wednesday night. Like, how did that schedule? Did we request that? Is this the Sun Belt just being Sun Belting? I don't know.
I feel like it's us. I mean, I can't see the Sun Belt schedule gods just saying we're going to put men's and women's on the same day, and we're going to
It
set
wouldn't
these
surprise me.
times. You never know. Hey, I saw the Sun Belt office walking into the Sugar Bowl, and I was like, "Oh, there's that shithole."
Yeah, and it could not look any more bland because I saw it the last time the last time I will ever go to New Orleans. I saw it down there as well, and I thought about snapping a pic like you did, and I was like, it's just like this
Sad.
boring ass, like not even big, just cement wall, and they just slap a black Sunbelt logo up there. Not even logo, just like letters. It's not even the actual Sunbelt logo, if I remember correctly. It was just buying letters off of like Party City. It's closing down or whatever.
Oof.
It's
Oh,
something.
Tim, you missed this one. This is something that came up at the Lafayette game.
Yes.
When I was talking to Denver over there instead of Ryan or anybody else.
Jesus, are you
There
like?
was
Did it hurt your feelings? Like what?
No, I enjoyed it. It was a great time. I had the best conversation I've ever had at a game. It
I
was
thought
great. We
you
had
were
a good time.
okay.
We had a good time. We had a great
Quick,
time.
Ryan. I thought you said you were skipping the game. Lafayette.
Not Lafayette. Sorry, was it Lafayette?
All
No,
right.
which was it? It was the other one, the South Alabama game.
How drunk have you been?
I don't know. Which game are we talking about? Anyhow, I'm at this
Honest to
game.
God, I was sitting here like, did we win the game? What was that? I don't think so.
No, we
Who'd we play?
whatever game this was. There was a
Did I get a nut?
what's it called? I can't remember what it's actually called now. There was the shot clock violation. And
Yes.
so Denver's like, but they shot the ball before the time ran out. Why was it a turnover, a penalty? And I was like, because it's actually got to hit the rim. It's not considered a shot, whatever. And so I decided that it's instead of being called a shot clock violation, it should be called a rim shot violation or a rim job violation.
Whoa. No, I think it was rim shot.
I don't know. That's not how the rule works, but that's interesting. You
Wait,
just
is that not wrong? Am I wrong on that? It's got
have to have the ball in your hands. That's it. So
No,
you can
that's
shoot it with 0.1 seconds on the shot clock as long as it's out of your hand.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
You're fine. So I have no clue what our penalty was. Maybe did it not even hit
the shot? The clock went down before it hit the.
I thought it had to hit the rim of the basket.
Anything?
Did it not actually hit the rim? Just backboard.
Yeah, that might
Correct.
matter.
That's probably more like us, and that is violation because it has to hit the rim on the shot.
That's what I said.
Reset.
That's not.
Yeah,
That's not the shot clock violation. That's a different thing, is what he's saying.
Okay,
it's still a shot clock violation. You just have to have the ball out of your hand.
One of us knows what the hell we're talking about.
All
Tim's
right.
the only one.
Ball the hand before zero. Ball the hand before it hits zero.
Uh-huh.
If it hits the rim, it's in play. If it doesn't hit the rim, it is a shot clock violation.
Okay. Wait, what if you nothing but net?
you're fine. Still went
Oh,
in.
okay. You
Well,
didn't hit
if
the
it goes to
rim.
the
So I'm
basket, it goes to the
curious.
basket.
You
Yeah.
get
I
points
think I
still.
think we're saying the same thing. We're just saying it in different ways. I don't know.
I think there's subtle distinction here.
You could achieve it from half court, and it could be on 0 for 2 seconds. It's still,
Correct.
as long as it hits the rim or makes it in, you're good.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's gotta hit the
Okay.
rim. Not hit the rim before the time expires. The ball has to be shot before the time expires, but it's gotta hit the rim for that shot to count, to
I
reset the clock.
You
I
come full
also
circle
thought you were
now.
saying it had to hit the rim. It had to
That's
hit the rim
Oh,
before the shot
no, no, no,
before the
no, no.
clock was
No,
wound down.
it's yeah, they can shoot it as long as the ball gets off before
Mm.
the ball gets off before the time
I like how you said it
expires.
again just to be like, "Look, guys, you obviously don't get my joke. I'm gonna say it again."
Mhm, exactly. But then but if it's an air ball or off the backboard or something like that,
no rim
then that's
job.
shot clock violation. It's gotta hit the rim. It's gotta be a rim shot. It's a rim shot violation. If you don't hit the rim, it's a shot violation. That's what I was trying to say. If you gotta explain a joke, it sucks.
Yeah,
That's on
well,
me, not on you guys. Becca and I thought it was hilarious.
she thinks I'm funny too, so, what she
Yeah,
knows.
she has really bad taste in
What
comedy and
knows
humor.
she knows. She's like, "You just make me laugh all the time." I'm like, "Are you laughing at me or with me?"
Yes. So so we beat a bad team very, very well. We've got another bad team coming in this week. You feeling any better about the team? Like, I was sitting there
No.
telling people that we may not win in a single conference game.
No, come on. Not a single conference game. Who are you?
I said it was possible. I think my exact quote was, "I think that we could easily steal 2
Okay.
to 4 games in conference. However, none
Okay.
of them will be on the road, and it would literally be stealing the games. I would not be surprised by us going over in conference. Monroe is played here in Atlanta in February, and I feel like that's the best shot. I feel like at the time that was our best shot of getting a win. It should still be a win, but I don't know.
It should be because they're pretty bad.
And it
I,
doesn't
I
help that we end the season 4 games on the road.
well, you can thank the Sun Belt in New Orleans for that.
Cheers, Sunbelt. You guys suck.
Woo.
So
I don't know. I mean, look, we lost 7 games in a row. We just won 1 against one of the worst teams in the league. We're now tied for 7th place with 18,000 other teams in the conference.
right.
I want to see if this same lineup comes out and plays the way they played against Lala. If he's found something. I mean, look, at this point, Hayes is trying whatever. I mean,
I hope so.
because what he's been doing clearly isn't working. Now you got Nutter MIA. You're trying a different starting lineup that seems to have a little bit of energy to it. A little bit.
A little bit.
You got Hamilton playing like starter minutes. He hasn't in the past. He did pretty well from the field.
And we were actually hitting those free throws on Saturday night too.
They practiced free throws for damn sure to hit 85%. Because it was abysmal in the game that you went to, Ryan. 42.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
You could be blindfolded and probably hit about the same.
If you've been practicing, it should be muscle memory. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm
It
saying.
is. It really is, though. Like, if you do actually
One would
shoot free
think.
throws and you get used to it, it's
You
the
should
same
they should
thing.
close their eyes every time and just go.
You'd be
But
surprised.
there's NBA guys that still struggle at free throws.
That's crazy to me.
They should just do it granny style, underhand.
That'd be great. I would
Much
love it.
higher
I would buy
percentage.
the jersey of a player who just did all of his free throws granny style.
Are you allowed to?
Yeah, totally. You can
Do whatever
bounce
you
off
want.
you can bounce off the backboard if you want to.
Hmm.
That's still pretty high percentage. As long as you hit in that square, it's going in.
Mm-hmm. Why don't they do that?
Yeah, it's not cool.
I don't
Yeah.
care. I want to win.
Nothing but net.
It's
You know
not
what else
cool.
isn't? You know what else isn't cool? 42%.
I thought you were gonna say losing.
Well, that too.
I wonder what I'd love to know the stat on a successful team, the most successful team to have the lowest free throw percentage. Like, how much are they having to like just not dunk, but like hit those threes and just like be a really scoring offense and then not be able to hit the free throw percentage?
So I
I don't
don't
know.
know shit about basketball, but
Obviously, neither do I.
based on my observations, it feels like there are 5 or 6 key stats that as long as you're hitting on like 3 or 4 of them, you're gonna do all right. And you can slip on 1 or 2 or do something like Run Hunter was always really bad at rebounds, right? And he just
He
was
didn't
like,
care.
"Forget it. But I'm gonna get
It
really
wasn't
good
that
at
he was
these other
bad.
things."
It was
And it
nothing he was
worked.
bad. He literally did not. He literally coached to not do rebounds. Like he was like,
Yeah.
rebounds don't matter, which is
Well, and
crazy to
he
me.
was saying, like, "Get prepared for the next thing that's gonna happen," right? And so,
Right.
like, that's what they were doing. They were sacrificing that stat for another one, but they coulda easily probably sacrificed a different stat and then gotten really good at rebounds too. It just depends on what personnel you have and, like, the coach's willingness to, you know, maneuver within what he's got.
Well,
I
we
would
are
say
so
you could probably slack on free throws, but at some point in some game, it'll bite you because you'll be in a situation where the other team is down and they're going to start fouling you. Now you're at the line, and if you suck at the line,
Mhm.
you're going to lose the game because of it.
Mhm.
I feel like we've been in that spot before. We've been up, and we knew we're an iffy free throw shooting team, probably in the 60s, and teams fouled us, and some
That
of them beat us.
that game, the South Alabama game where we shot the 42, it did feel like at the end, I don't know if it was actually happening, but it felt like at the end they were just fouling us because they didn't give a shit. They were like, "Who cares? They're not gonna score. Let's just go for it. Like, let's play
yeah,
more aggressive
rack up
because
the
who
fouls
cares?"
and yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, but the thing is with all those 4 to 5 stats like you talked about, Ryan, free throws are the one that you have 100% control over.
Mhm.
You
Like
do.
you can practice rebounding all day long, but
Mhm.
you never know where the ball's bouncing, who's around you at the exact same time. You don't have control over that. Same thing with your 3-pointers, your jump shots. You still what the defense is going to be at that time. Free throw, you have 100% control over. It should be the one thing that everybody is just, expected to make. It's why they called it a free throw. They don't call it like
Mhm.
a shit show, you know?
A shit throw.
Yeah.
Free throws
But
ain't free.
and if you look at it, all right, so we just got our first win in 7. We have Southern coming up next, Coastal, then we go to Texas State. Those are 3 winnable games. You could be on a 3-game winning streak. Well, 4 games if we win Texas State. Going into Arkansas State, which they're a top 3 team in the conference. So if we somehow have
Yeah.
gotten it together, win these 3 games going into Arkansas State, that'll be a test to see if, well, is this lineup something that
Yeah.
gels?
Because Coastal actually lost to Lafayette.
Right.
So they lost to Lafayette, they lost to Arkansas State, and their only win is against Monroe. So yeah, on paper, this should be a game that we're able to win, and it's at home. So and we better win it because like what that the game that we go on start our road. Well, it's a 2-game road series, but yeah.
2-game road series, but still, like, you kind of build up to Arkansas State's a top 3-4 team in the conference. So it'll be a good view to see where this team really is. I mean, January is kind of where you really know what's going on, late January. Like if we lose all of the next, forget it. Just fold the season, put Hayes's brother in. I don't know. Like,
We're going to the playoffs, so
well,
Yeah.
everyone goes. Yeah,
we're locked. We're
we're,
locked, man.
we're further to the left on that bracket.
As a Falcons fan, I'm starting to actually really like this basketball playoff strategy here.
Everyone's in.
So, have you guys ever gone to a conference away basketball game?
Yes.
You went to Trash Down South, didn't you?
No, I went to Troy.
Went to Troy. Okay, went
And
to
it was
Troy.
as painful as a Troy game you could think of.
Mm.
I
Those
was
are rough
trying.
games.
I was trying to think, like from a basketball perspective, is like there any draw from the Sun Belt teams that you'd actually would want to go? Because like none of the Sun Belt destinations are all that great, and
I mean,
especially this time of year.
Troy wasn't too bad. It wasn't too far. I think that was the main
It's like
draw.
3 hours there, right? 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
But that
I
is
mean,
that is the draw of Troy. Is it's easy.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we have some fans that travel to like Texas State and all that. I'm like, or Arkansas State. I'm like, nah, no way. It's too far.
I mean, I guess if you were to go to Appy State, then you could at least do some skiing or something because they have their little fake
Mhm.
mountains and stuff. But that's
They're real
really the only
mountains.
for this time of year for a basketball game. I just can't. I don't think any of these locations.
You
I,
could pretend to go to Trash Down South and just keep driving to Savannah.
That's what Ryan's plan is. Where if he ever goes to a Trash Down South game, be
Just
it
don't
football,
go.
basketball, whatever, he's like, I'm just gonna drive right past it, go to Savannah, hang out there, hop
I
in
just
for the game.
I can't imagine going that far and not just continuing on.
Yeah.
It's
And
such
then
a, it's
stopping in Statesboro. Oh, no
it
thanks.
is a crazy stretch. They try to claim they're close to Savannah. I'm like, well, that would be like we're in, I don't know, Jasper, and we're in Atlanta. Like we're not, you know.
Yeah, well, you also have like an hour and a half outside of Atlanta, all claims that they're in Atlanta as well.
It's a
So
big state.
True.
it is
It's the
weird
lar
that
we're the
Georgia only
largest
has like just one big city.
well, there's what, Savannah, Augusta, Columbus, they're
Yeah,
not that
those are.
big.
But I mean,
They're
look,
not
you
that big.
look at but look at
Macon-ish.
Ohio. Ohio has Columbus, Canton,
Cleveland.
Columbia, Dayton. Like they have a lot. Toledo. They got a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on there. Pennsylvania's got Pittsburgh and Philadelphia.
New
And
Orleans
Harrisburg.
or Louisiana's got New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
Yeah, even that worst state in the country has Baton Rouge and New Orleans. So
Alabama only has Birmingham, I think, right?
yeah, well, let's be fair. Alabama, and Mississippi are like
I say Mississippi doesn't even have
we're just
one,
happy you're
do
here.
they?
Yeah. Jefferson City, the capital.
I don't think no, I don't think so.
Tupelo, the birthplace of Elvis Presley.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, how many states have like no city? Is Mississippi the
They've
only
got
state?
you know what? They've got Memphis.
Ooh.
They have Tunica. They have the casinos of Memphis and Tunica. Yeah, but they don't. They even really capitalize on the Gulf Shore stuff. Whatever.
No.
Biloxi, Mississippi, right?
I think so.
On the drive down to New Orleans, I passed obviously Montgomery. I was like, oh, it reminded me of our bowl game on Christmas. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
but
a good
I mean,
memory.
I was driving through that town when we were there, and just sort of was like, oh, right, that's the Capitol building. This is the capital of Alabama. I was like, what is this town? Like, what the hell is this? It doesn't
It's
make
a
any sense.
big curved 85 South exit or 65. That's all it is. That's all I remember.
Just doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
But it's the beautiful Alabama, the beautiful, right?
I guess.
Sure.
when nobody moves there and nothing gets developed and there's just nothing but countryside. Yeah, it probably is pretty beautiful.
All right, what are we talking about? We're done with hoops balls.
I think we're done.
Balls.
Hoops balls.
Rim
been a lot of,
jobs. Hoops
Is that
balls.
like
Rim
somebody's
jobs.
balls?
The hardwoods. The hardwoods.
Hoops balls. Rim jobs.
Rim shot jobs.
Oh,
all right. The football's got a lot of coaching turnover.
Yeah, McGee doesn't. I can't say that word. Around.
He doesn't mess. He doesn't mess around. You can use mess around. It doesn't mess around. So Brady was saying on Panther, he was kind of implying this, and I called him out. Right, I called him out. That sounds way more aggressive. I asked the question.
Like, look,
asked
bitch.
the question. I was like, because people were saying that Sean Elliott did not fire coaches. There were several coaches that took jobs elsewhere, but Sean Elliott didn't fire anybody. And Brady kind of implied that Sean Elliott didn't fire anybody because he gave them the opportunity to find a job and leave.
That makes sense. He
on
probably
their
moved
own.
people along.
Yeah. So but McGee's like, nope, that didn't work. You're gone. Good luck to you. I'm gonna go find some SEC coach to come in here and replace you. Because that's what he did with Scherer, the defensive coordinator, is he brought in a guy from Arkansas to be the DC. Was it his name? Darren Wilson.
Do we got to hire?
I like it. I mean, I felt like I know you know, Brady said that Elliott kept people and let them leave, but I felt like we kept some of our DCs and OCs too long. I mean, McGee's like 1 year, like this shit ain't working. Time to go.
Wasn't the DC? Didn't we have the exact same DC under Elliott like the entire time he was here, or at least for like way too long that we should have had him here?
I felt like we mispronounced his name for many years. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. What's his name again?
It's a good question.
Shit. That's a good thing. He's gone.
Yeah.
But I remember
not gonna be here anymore.
None of us could pronounce his name for the longest time, year after year. It was the best part of him being here.
Yeah. So
Ryan, what's his name? Come on.
Who?
The DC from our last years with Elliott.
it was like a weird vowel sound.
Fuqua.
He wasn't the last one though, right? The last one was the other guy that we had lunch with, right?
That was defensive coordinator, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
Trickett, whatever it was. But yeah, so got Darren Wilson from Arkansas.
Take it. Hungry.
SEC, comes from SEC program. You're supposed to just say like rubber stamp that one, right?
I don't know. How was the what is he? He coached the secondary there? Yeah. How was the secondary at Arkansas? How's his
Hey, you guys watch way more SEC football than I do. You tell me how Arkansas was.
In 2024, the Hogs took a step back and ranked 110th in the country defending the pass. Cool. Cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, nice.
But he was at Florida before that, right?
As a quality control analyst working with cornerbacks.
And then we pulled in a safeties coach who was a Florida analyst, but also worked with Billy Napier back in Lafayette as well. So getting a little Lafayette, which is interesting because we pulled in our offensive line coach, Bryant Ross, was the offensive line coach in Lafayette. He took a lateral, title.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, well, come on. Do you want to live in Lafayette or do you want to live in the ATL?
It's not even a question.
I already have my flight booked. Like, I'll tell my wife on the way to the airport.
There's something in me like I don't really like that Coach A.D. McGee came from TDS, right? That bothers me. But if we had hired him directly from there, it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
totally it'd be a win. It'd be a plus.
It'd be a huge win. Yeah.
And you can argue whether this is a good or bad thing right now, but when the Falcons hired their general manager from the Saints, I hated it. Terry Fontenot or whatever, and now you can argue that he's not done well or whatever. But one of my buddies, one of my huge Falcons friends, was he's like, the Saints just got worse and we got better. And if you look at it from that perspective, yeah, if you hire somebody away from your rival, yeah, you did that. And
it really depends on how good he was doing, right? So like this Razorbacks guy, it's like, well, did the Razorbacks get worse at in their secondary? Probably not.
I've got a buddy of mine who's a Buccaneers fan who went to Trash Down South and is pays attention. He's a fan. So he messaged me after the Falcons game and we started talking about, that whole debacle. And then he's like, well, then he was like, what do you guys think about McGee? Like, what's the running feeling? And I was like, it's overall positive, bad season, but we still feel pretty good about him and what he's done with recruiting and people he's brought in. And he's like, I get a lot of shit from this from my other TDS. He didn't call him TDS, but I don't. My other TDS friends, he says, like we messed up big by not hiring McGee. He's like, that one's going to come back and bite us big time. And I'm like, so. That's what I have to hear. That's what I want to hear.
We're all hoping for it.
Yep. We're going to beat them 35-7 down in Statesboro this year.
Nice.
The year of the Panther.
That's a respectable football score anyway. Nice and divisible by 7.
Yes, it is good. It's right. Yeah. 35-6. They missed the extra point.
Yeah, they don't get their divisible by 7. We score every time. Touchdown and extra point every time.
What's the vibe on Panther talk as far as the new hires from Florida and Arkansas?
Welcome, coach. Happy to have you. Just it's still a hard time. Panther talk's been pretty,
probably
deadly. It's the holidays. People are still not getting used to everything. Hell, I still haven't had a normal day yet. My kids finally started back to school, but one of them's sick, so he's still here. So I still haven't had a full legit work day yet since the holidays.
I can understand. It's been pretty rough. I mean, you look at the football team this year not performing as well as we all thought. Basketball team not performing as well as we thought. The Falcons kind of not doing as well as we thought. Then UGA losing in the Sugar Bowl. Like, it's not really been a good start of the year.
Georgia beat Georgia.
There's always been a team that pulls you out of it. And right now, Nothing.
That's why we need to break ground on the baseball stadium. I think that would give us a lot of energy and feel good about
Well,
something.
we're fully in winter, and it's not happening in winter. Per Ryan,
Spring.
spring only.
I thought you said winter.
No, it's spring.
It said
And when
spring.
does spring actually end? They have all the way until like what?
I don't know, man.
Probably I feel like
June?
I feel
It'll
like
be the end of
spring and
spring, and we'll be
fall.
like, "Hey, what's happened?" They're like, "Who told you that?"
Who said spring?
I feel like
So, you
spring
know.
and fall are those
We
two
didn't
seasons
say
that
the
go
year.
way longer than you think they do. Like fall, it goes into like December 20th or 21st or something like that. And like when December hits, that's just winter to me.
It's
Like,
winter. Yeah.
December 1 is winter to me, but it's actually 3 weeks later. I feel like spring's like that. It goes into like June 16th or something weird.
Yeah, Georgia's kind of weird because the weather doesn't match.
No, ever.
Speaking of weather, man, it's gonna be freezing ass cold tomorrow.
It's
Still supposed
freezing
to
cold
snow
now.
at the end of the week, right?
I think
Snow
so.
on Saturday morning, I think is what they're calling for.
Yeah, snow on. Oh, I got snow on Friday. I just looked it up,
Nice.
and it looks like a lot. Actually, it's like loaded.
Well, at one point they were calling for a foot to 2 feet. There was one model saying a foot to 2 feet of snow in Atlanta,
Can you
not just like
imagine?
North Georgia.
Can you
I've been
imagine?
here
That would be
since
nuts.
91. I've seen a lot of icings, but maybe I've seen a foot of snow back in like 92 or something like that. That
There's some
blizzard of
decent
92.
snows. There's some decent snow that happened probably in the last 10, 15 years. But yeah, like
It's about
it
that.
does not snow.
It's about, I've been here so like almost, 30 years, 30 something years. Yeah, it's happened about twice. So every 10 to 15 years you get a snowstorm here. So my kids are amped. They're ready for it. They're ready to go.
I'll forget when I first moved up here from Florida and I was working at the movie theater and like I'm not paying attention. I'm young. I don't care. Whatever. And they're like, "Hey, you better hurry up and get home before the ice storm hits." I'm like, "Huh?" Like I went to bed. I woke up the next morning freezing and there's no power. And then I can't even see out the window. And I'm like, "What the hell? Where am I? What's going on?" Like it was insane. Like that hasn't happened in a long time here.
Well, we had that icing. Was it the same time you're talking about? It was about 8 years ago.
No, this is like between 2000 and 2003. Somewhere in there, there was a
Because
pretty.
we had what was it? It was Snowmageddon was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, but
That
that
was
was mostly ice.
snow.
I think that wasn't like a
It's
lot of
all
snow.
that's what it mostly is. We
Yeah,
rarely get a lot of snow. We get a lot
yeah,
of ice.
right.
Yeah.
It melts during when the sun's up, and then it gets cold again, and everything freezes.
Yeah, yeah.
I
We'll
felt
see
like
how it
whatever
goes.
happened was just like pure ice sometime between 2000 and 2003. It was
Mm.
pretty to look at until shit started snapping and falling everywhere.
Yeah, that's what happens. Is oh man, I remember there was one year actually when I was at state. I was living in Roswell, Alpharetta, something like that, and I drove down at the state for this. I was still taking day classes and driving down 400. All the pine trees, all the trees on the side of 400 were all bent over, like had all just turned over. The weight of the ice and everything, they curled over, and I was like, "Well, that'll be interesting when it melts." And they just end up falling. But,
Yep.
the only other thing I had to talk about, it's nothing really. I guess there's two actual things. One, really quickly, Northern Illinois is moving to the Mountain West from the MAC for football only. For
What?
football only.
That's funny.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. But I don't know if that has that big of an impact because UMass was already joining the MAC, so they're still kind of even on numbers. So I don't know if that means they make a move to add anybody. I don't know. I don't think it'll have an impact on the Sun Belt because nobody in the Sun Belt's going to the MAC, and I just don't see it having an impact on us at all.
I
There's
think the only people
no.
who care about the Mac are in the Mac.
Yeah.
Marshall is the only one, but they've been in the MAC like multiple times, and they don't want to go back to the MAC. So
There's no interest in the Mac. I mean, I don't know. Like, I could maybe name a team or two
just
from it.
Ohio.
name a town in
Bowling
Ohio,
Green. I don't know.
and then they
Yeah, I
have
think that's one.
and they have a team in the MAC. Like I think out of what was it, 12 teams or something? I think 5 of them or 6 of them were from Ohio, and like the other 4 were from Michigan,
Oh,
and then
Toledo.
Buffalo. was the only other. Buffalo was the only like MAC team that wasn't in Ohio or
Akron. I
Michigan.
got all the Ohio ones.
Told you, see, Ohio's got a lot of towns, a lot of cities.
Yeah,
Zips.
it's weird. It's not a very cool place. Some claim it doesn't even exist. So
I've been there. I've been to Ohio.
Does it exist?
They told you it was Ohio, but you don't know.
I stayed one night in Cincinnati.
They tell you that it's in Ohio, but who knows? Who knows, man?
I stayed where the map tells you Ohio is. Wherever I was, there were some imaginary lines drawn around it that said Ohio in it. So
I was in Columbia and Bellefontaine and Dublin, like all this like linear, and I have no idea, man. I've got no clue.
Bellefontaine, that's a interesting. All right, the only other thing, this one I think Ryan may have an opinion on. NCAA is
about everything.
Oh no, it sounds legal. It sounds like legal
scheduling.
jargon.
All right, Ryan, it's scheduling. That you have an opinion on scheduling?
Just win, baby. Win that schedule.
Supposedly, the NCAA is looking at granting a 5th year eligibility to like just make it a 5-year.
Just period. Just like whatever, 5 years, no matter.
Oh, plus the red shirt then.
Plus the red shirt, plus your JUCO year.
Like it's already 5 years.
Year or years, JUCO.
I see. I think they said 1 year wouldn't count against you, but like I think most people would go to JUCO for 2 years. I don't know.
Then red shirt. Then
so we'll have a 27. It'll be a commonplace to have a 27-year-old player on your team.
Why go to JUCO now that you can just transfer within the NCAA?
If you don't get looks at, don't get a scholarship to the.
Well, then you're not gonna transfer back from JUCO at that point. You can't even hit up a Sunbelt team, dude. Like
Nick Arbuckle, we got from the JUCOs.
Well, at a time when you had to go to JUCO, so because you had to sit a year anyway.
Right.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, because now you can just freely enter the portal and just go somewhere. The JUCOs are now like the MAC.
It's just the MAC. It's just another pipeline. It's another place to search for talent. So
yeah, it just seems like it would maybe trickle dry a little bit. If I was a player, I'd rather be on TV on the MAC than go
the JUCO
out in the country at a JUCO.
The JUCO still counted towards your eligibility years. So now you can go to JUCO straight out of high school, go to a JUCO for a year, I don't know, maybe 2, and put on some weight, get a little bit more skill under your belt, and then you can transfer into a D1 program with now full 5 years of eligibility. So now you're starting your redshirt freshman year as a 20-year-old.
They're going to separate from colleges. This is just professional, and like the JUCO is just turning into the college thing. They're just going to separate from the colleges.
I mean, we're basically there, right? I mean,
we're getting there.
No one's going to school. Do you think top teams are going to become so sophisticated that they start recruiting people to actually go to JUCO and pay them to go to JUCO to then pull them out and up when they're ready? Like I can totally
make them
see
their minor league,
their
developmental league.
They pick a school and just be like, well, go here, do well, and we're going to give you money. They're going to give you money because who cares at this point? And then we're going to pull you up when we need you, whatever year that is.
Yeah, Robbie makes a commenter. Thank you, Robbie. Makes a comment. Grades being an issue on the JUCO side of things. If they don't have the grades to get into a D1 program right now, they could go to JUCO, get those grades up.
It's been a long time since I heard of a recruit that didn't make it where they were recruited because of grades. But I don't pay as much attention, so
we've had guys this recruiting cycle that we just kind of that were committed.
Yeah, we're
committed.
GSU.
Okay, still
we're GSU. It's harder for an athlete to get into Georgia State than it is to get into Georgia Tech. We already know that.
I know that was true 10, 12 years ago. Don't know if that's still true today, but I will repeat that stat to everybody else I talk to.
It's still true. It's harder to get in here than other schools
because there's no
trash down south.
There's no exceptions for the athletes here.
Right. And I'm okay with that. I think that's.
Well, I mean, God forbid, it's not like honest to God, it's not that hard to get into Georgia State. So, like, if you want to flex a little bit down, like, what are you doing? Like, it's already pretty easy.
Well,
this is a lot of people's safety school.
So, Ryan, when I said I thought you'd have an opinion on it, I thought that you were going to come out and say that eligibility was dumb and you should be able to play college sports for as long as you're attending or getting paid to do it.
Oh, that's what's going to happen.
It's going to be so weird.
That's what's gonna happen. I mean, they're just turning it into a professional league. That's fine. Cool.
Right.
We're gonna have 2
Well, so
professional
what
leagues. We
what I
finally are
kinda
gonna have 2 professional football leagues. That's gonna be
what
awesome.
I kinda hope happens is, and we've talked about it before, is I hope that does happen. I hope, but I hope it's just like the top 30 or 40 teams that create this new professional league, and then the rest of us, including a lot of SEC teams and Big Ten teams that don't make the cut, the rest of us go back to what traditional college football was.
Mhm.
The money won't be what it is in that minor professional league, but it'll get back to, student athletes and, being able to root for people that you see in your classes, or you see on campus, you see at bars and around everywhere, instead of the Lamborghini driving guy that just, drives by and does
Is that
whatever,
what is that what they are now? They're Lamborghini driving guys?
They all drive
That's what a buddy of mine
Lambos.
told me. He said he's got 2 kids. He has 2 kids at Georgia right now, and grew up being, they to be fair, they grew up being Tech fans, but they're at Georgia, and they said they can't stand the football players because, you can tell who they are because you see these Ferraris and crap just driving around Athens, and it's just these arrogant football players.
It's amazing.
Which is funny. I think out of all the schools, Georgia should be the one where they're not giving the football players sports cars. They should give them cars with it's the Honda
Trucks.
Civics with governors on them or something like that that
Well,
can't go very fast.
before the NIL, they gave them golf carts.
So bumper cars, dude.
They all had golf carts to get around.
I've
That's
been to
awesome.
Athens before. If I had a souped up golf cart, that'd be the most
It'd be
awesome
so
thing to drive
badass.
around Athens. That'd be so much fun.
You
Like,
get
Better
especially
than
if you were centered in campus. Like, if you didn't have to go off campus too much, that would be
right.
super rad. Yeah.
No, that'd be awesome. That'd be lit, right?
Mhm.
That's what they say.
Oh, I
Yeah.
say rad. So
Right. Well, and I keep on
Be
saying
rad.
I want to bring rad back like you
Forget
are.
rad.
I
Yeah.
keep on forgetting to use rad.
it'd be rad.
So, all right. I think that's a pretty good time, guys. What do you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could head on out, right?
Yeah, I don't have any more
Yeah.
topics to talk about, so sounds good to me. Tim, bring us home.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. We're gonna take a quick break, restock the bevs, and head on over to last call. If you like what you heard or you didn't, join our Patreon anyway at patreon.com/state of Atlanta. Took me a while to get into state of Atlanta when I wanted to listen to our podcast on the road last week. You'll get live stream access to last call, discounts on merch, group chat action, which is a little quieter now, but still lively, and breaking news when we have it, adult beverages at tailgates and some select basketball tailgates, and more. Become a fan of the show for $5 a month. It's all it takes to feed us booze. We'd love to have you aboard. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.